Have you ever finished a track, felt like something is missing, but you just can't tell what it is? So after producing for over 10 years and helping tons of clients finish tracks consistently, what I've learned is like this. 9 times out of 10, it's not about how good your track is, it's not even about how good your mix is, it's how you add and remove energy from your music. So today, I'm going to take a student's track and show you how we can make it feel full, alive and exciting, no matter the genre you produce. Some of these techniques are more technical, like picking the right sounds and making your drums hit harder, and others are more creative ways to bring your track to life and keep the listener hooked. So, number 1 is sound selection. So listen to the snare that we have here. Yes, it sounds good, but if you want more impact, then you need to choose sounds which are more appropriate for the genre you produce. If we're talking about techno or psytrance, you need a snare that has much more higher frequencies. So I decided to get rid of the snare, bye-bye, and I started by adding this snare. Already sounding much better. If you want more impact, it's not just about the high frequencies, the snare needs to have some body. So I chose this snare for the body, adding this, and all together. Now this is good, but how we can add even more energy to this groove? There is a technique I really love, it's called little fills. So I basically took the same snare and I added it in between the main snare hits. Listen to this. There's another way we can add more energy to your groove, and that is by introducing a new element, maybe something that has more contrast. So I took this clap, added some reverb using Supermassive. You should all be using this plugin, it's free. But this still sounds a little bit out of place. So sometimes to add more energy, you need to take something off. So I added a plugin called Gatekeeper. And this is a very simple volume automation. Listen to the difference it makes. Add that pumping effect, which makes it blend much better with the rest of the beat. But it's still disappearing a little bit. So there is one more way which you can bring everything back together and put it up front again. And that is adding some saturation. One of my favorite saturation plugins is Raw. You don't have to use Raw, but you can use any saturation you like. Just crank it up, play around with it until it feels right. In this case, I boosted the sides and the mids slightly differently so I can bring up the tail of the reverb. Okay, next, let's talk about acid leads. So I made this acid lead in Serum. Sounding really nice. But there are 4 ways that we can introduce more energy to this sound. Number 1 is adding downsample. Number 2 is adding a filter. I'm also automating this envelope so it opens up over time. And lastly is automating the wavetable itself. If you want your track to hook the listener, you need to start shifting the energy of your synth. Automate the filters, automating the envelopes, automating the distortions. Next, listen to this part and try to tell me if you feel like something is missing. This lead doesn't carry enough energy. Let's fix this. So I took the same acid lead from before, just wrote one single note and added it underneath. Let me know if you can hear the difference. It's subtle, but now this lead is carrying so much more energy. You know, David, the producer that made this track, before I met him for the first time, he made one track in a whole year. But after joining Stuck to Finished, he smashed 5 tracks in just 5 months. Because this program is not just another course with a series of videos in a specific topic or genre. It gives you systems to produce any type of electronic music. I have students making techno, psytrance, house, and even lo-fi, and they all see amazing results. We also have our community where the producers can interact with each other, and we have a live stream where you can ask me questions directly. I will give you feedback on your music, and you can see exactly what I do when I produce. Plus, everything is recorded, so you never miss out. So if you feel stuck, like David was, or feels like something is missing from your music, feel free to check the link below. We will show you exactly what goes into finishing tracks and making them sound professional. Okay, on we go with this track. So just before the drop, I have this drum roll. So it's alright, but it's pretty static. So we have to do something about it. We want the energy to build up. So I started by adding a shifter plugin, and I'm automating the frequency. Another thing that I'm doing is removing the low frequencies as we get closer to the drop, because sometimes you need to take the energy out for a bigger impact. It's a little bit better, but it's still missing quite a bit. What I've learned from teaching tons of clients is that most producers tend to just use a simple white noise sweep to add energy. But that is making your track sound like any other track. If you want your track to sound polished, you need to make these elements yourself. It's really simple. I took the last hit, added shitloads of reverb, recorded this to audio, and now I have this. But it still doesn't carry enough energy, so I would always recommend to add a crash underneath. Notice how much more impact it has. On the dance floor, people will go crazy for this. But I didn't want to finish there, because we are missing something in the drop itself, and that is something that will just glue everything together. So I took the kick, reversed it, added reverb, automating the size, then recorded it to audio, reversed it. We have this. I don't know if you noticed, but some of the elements of the bass are muted. So yeah, we have a great kick, and we have a great sub, but we can add more energy by adding 2 elements. So I took the kick with some reverb on it to add this rumble. Added another layer of the kick to add that little groove element. And all together we went from this to this. Remember the synth from before? The one which we added this layer underneath. There's another way which we can make it more interesting and increase the energy, and that is by removing some parts of it. So have you a filter plugin with a sequencer that is moving a filter like this. But now it sounds like it has less energy. That's why we need to add a little bit of ping pong delay on top. Let's listen to the percussions for a moment, and let's explore how we can add even more energy to them. It's sounding good, but we can make it sound even better, like this. Load a raw, multiband. We don't need any of the low frequencies here. Let's add a little bit of saturation on the mid frequencies. Let's go to the higher frequencies. Let's add a little bit here as well. And one more thing is, let's increase the compression a little bit. We can increase the drive as well. And let's decrease the output. So before it sounded like this, sounding good. After, makes such a massive difference. Now, because you stayed till the end of this video, I want to give you something special. If my program Stuck to Finish sounds like the program that can help you finish tracks and get to the next level, you can win a lifetime access to the program. Check out the link below. Now, energy is what makes your track feel exciting. But if your mix still sounds muddy or unpolished, labels and DJs would just not take it seriously. So if you feel like your track is sounding amateur, you need to watch this video next.